Okay, good evening. Welcome to the Red Hook Town Board meeting of Tuesday, July 11th, 7/11. Would you kindly join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Folks at home, we have a very, I think, abbreviated agenda this evening, which is good. And Councilperson Kane will be joining us momentarily, running just a little bit late. Tonight we have an extension of the public hearing, Local Law E, amended Chapter 131 Town Code. Essentially, we're going to modify our local code to allow for periodic updates to the list of stop sign intersections. What we're doing, however, is not continuing with a rather inefficient and expensive procedure that existed many years ago. We're looking at other options where we can avoid having to update the local law for what is essentially a ministerial act by the local government. So we'll be continuing that public hearing to a later date once our attorneys have had a chance to come up with some recommended language for us to consider. We have a 7:45 public hearing on proposal. This is again an amended proposal for an increase in improvement of the water district facilities. We're going out for a grant to cover approximately half of the cost for a new water tank. And so we're modifying that dollar figure based upon some information we got from our engineers, a slight modification. And so we will be essentially changing and continuing that public hearing. So water and sewer is agenda item number 1 and 2. And then the grant resolution is really just to take a look at town board members. We won't be acting on that because we'll do that after the public hearing. And then we have another essentially ministerial act, which is approving the execution of a decommissioning agreement. For the folks at home, a decommissioning agreement is essentially the conditions surrounding what happens to a solar installation once it's outlived its usefulness. Okay, this is the first meeting of the month, and so as we do each year, we start with an update of the town finances, and this is for the period ending June 30th, 2023. We started with an opening balance of $8.7 million. We had receipts of slightly over $500,000, with disbursements of a little over $1 million, with a remaining balance of $8,259,606. And we have also some budget adjustments prepared by our bookkeeper. If you have any questions related to those, very brief schedule. You also have your variance reports showing you essentially at the midpoint of where we are on our budgets. Did you all have any questions on that? We're seeing, with regard to some of our revenues, Community Preservation Fund slowing down just a little bit, not anything substantial. With our mortgage tax revenue lately looking stable at lower levels, that was predicted. With higher mortgage rates, we're seeing less folks go and get mortgages for properties. I heard an interesting stat on the news that nationwide, nearly 40% of all home purchases are made all cash. In New York City, that's now up to 65%. And you can imagine at a 7% mortgage, the monthly payments are much higher. So that was a prediction in the fall's budget, that we would see some slowdown on those revenue numbers, and that does seem to be coming in as expected. So that's good or bad news, depending upon how you're viewing it. Okay, any questions on the supervisor's report and budget adjustments? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept.
So, or did you move or?
I entertained a motion, so that's your motion. Okay,
I'll second.
thanks, Julia. Any questions? Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We also have the town clerk's report, monthly report.
Okay, the town clerk's report for the period of June 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2023. Total local shares remitted to the supervisor, $5,204.89. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Amount paid to New York State Agriculture and Markets for the spay-neuter program, $33. Amount paid to New York State Department of Health for marriage licenses, $67.50. Amount paid to New York State Environmental Conservation for hunting and fishing licenses, $113.36. Total state, county, and local revenues, $5,418.75.
Okay, you also have an abstract, yeah?
Yeah, and I hereby certify that vouchers numbered 30613 to 30770, processed in the month of June 2023, are an accurate reporting of the abstracts approved for payment by the town board.
Thank you very much, Deanna. Any questions, folks? If not, who would like to entertain an acceptance of the town clerk's report?
So moved.
Ms. Christine?
Second.
Thank you, Jacob. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so a couple of quick nominations, quick announcements. So this is what happens when the mind and the eyes are working in two different directions. The Red Hook Rotary, as it does each and every year, reaches out to the community for nominations for Citizen of the Year. This is an event they hold normally in October, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Chris?
Usually.
Usually in October. And they are looking for nominations. If you know of somebody in the community who's gone above and beyond, they would like to hear from you for consideration. And they have a form that you can download at redhookrotary.club.org. Okay, the VFW, as it always does, it seems, has also an announcement, which is that they are advertising an essay competition grand prize. What are the greatest attributes of our democracy? It's part of their Voice of Democracy program. And the deadline for entry for that is October 31st, Halloween. And the prize, as you see, $35,000 award. And you can get more information on our website about that. All of this is available on redhookny.gov. Sign up for notifications. You can find out about this and more. Okay, let's jump right into the first public hearing, shall we? Which we expect to be continued again. Deanna, would you kindly read the brief notice?
Notice of public hearing, Town of Red Hook. Please take notice that a public hearing extended from June 28th, 2023 will be held by the Town Board of the Town of Red Hook on July 11th, 2023 at 7:35 p.m. local time at the Town Hall, 7340 South Broadway, Red Hook, New York, 12571, to hear all interested persons on a proposed local law number E, proposed of 2023, entitled a local law amending Chapter 131 of the Code of the Town of Red Hook entitled Vehicles and Traffic to add a new stop on Elm Street at Aspinwall Road. The amendment designates an additional stop intersection on Elm Street southbound at Aspinwall Road. Please take further notice that copies of said proposed local law are available for review at the Town Hall, 7340 South Broadway, Red Hook, New York. All interested persons will be given an opportunity to be heard in person or by directing comments in writing to town clerk at redhookny.gov or 7340 South Broadway, Red Hook, New York. All reasonable accommodations will be made for persons with disabilities. In such a case, please notify the town clerk in advance at the above address or by phone so that arrangements can be made. By order of the Town Board of the Town of Red Hook, dated June 13th, 2023, Deanna Cochran, Town Clerk, Town of Red Hook.
Thank you, Deanna. At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing. Is there somebody here who would like to speak on this issue? Okay, and just to recount for folks, the board, from my understanding, was supportive of placing a stop sign there. We're just modifying the local law so that it can be efficient and not have to be updated each and every time we add an intersection to that list. And for the folks at home, a reminder, if you do come to a T intersection, you are required to come to a stop, whether or not there's a stop sign there. Okay. Hearing.
Do you want to scroll down and show that list?
Yeah. You can show the list that these are all the intersections currently where there's a stop sign. And you can see how it doesn't make sense to have to, each and every time you add one to this list, go through a rather expensive proposition of having the local law modified and then put to general code, which is an additional expense. Okay, so what do we think? Chris, do we think we can make it to the next meeting? Otherwise, I would say let's push it to the first meeting in September. Would that be safer to extend it then, and then we'll know that we'll have some good language? We can consider,
Maybe. I don't need, because you're not gonna have 2 meetings in August.
well, just in case, because
Yeah.
oftentimes on Fair Week,
Right. You don't
just
have
in
6
case.
meetings. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can do it and continue it again, I guess.
I don't wanna have like all these
Okay.
notices and stuff.
So
Speaking
then-
of efficiency.
Sure, why don't you do it through September?
So the first meeting in September, Deanna, would then be Tuesday, the,
Well? Is that right?
Yes, Tuesday the 12th.
okay. Board members, what do you think? That makes sense? We can always entertain and put it on the agenda, but we'll have the public hearing in case we modify it. So if
You
it's
wanna
ready for
close
the
this
next meeting.
public hearing? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think we want to just continue it to September 8th.
Okay, so then you can't do anything in the interim. You can't,
Right,
like, if you're
modify
gonna
it
continue
all.
the hearing instead of closing it, then, you know, you can't change your mind in the middle. If you
I
close the
mean, if
hearing.
it gets done sooner, you can't move it up.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I
Not that you can't work on it or anything.
No, right, exactly.
Yeah, no, I think we'll work on it and we'll be ready for September 12th
Okay.
and we'll pass whatever we have, right?
Yeah, well, we'll have to set a hearing on whatever we do, so that's why I wondered if you
Well,
wanted.
we can lay it on the table at the next meeting if it's ready,
Okay,
right?
okay. You could.
Make sense?
It does.
I just don't want to continue
Got it.
without allowing enough time. Make sense? Okay. So, let's entertain a motion to close, to extend the public hearing to Tuesday, September 12th at 7:35, at which point we expect to have new protocol, new local law.
And that would be for both this stop sign and the additional features.
Exactly.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Second?
Second?
Thank you, Julia. All in favor, Jacob?
Aye.
Christine?
Aye.
Myself. 7:35, Tuesday the 12th. Okay, let's, Deanna, can I impose upon you to read the public hearing notice for the Water District tank.
Notice of public hearing on proposal for an increase and improvement of Water District facilities for Red Hook Water District Number 1. Notice is hereby given that the town board of the town of Red Hook, Dutchess County will meet via Zoom on the 11th day
No,
of
that's
July
the wrong- That's the
2022.
wrong one.
No, that's what it was.
Okay. For the purpose of conducting a in person, for the purpose of conducting a public hearing upon a proposal by said town board to undertake proposed improvements to the town facilities of the town of Red Hook Water District Number 1 pursuant to Section 202B of the town law as hereinafter described, at which time and place said town board will meet to consider such proposition and hear all persons interested in the subject thereof and concerning the same. The town board previously approved a resolution after a public hearing regarding a recommended work plan for improvements to the Red Hook Water District Number 1 as described in the preliminary engineering report dated August 24th, 2022, prepared by T&B Engineers, PC, including the replacement of the existing standpipe at the Kelly Road water storage site with a new standpipe, recommended to be glass-fused steel and including original furnishings, equipment, machinery, and apparatus required therefor the project. The town board has received a supplemental letter recommending an increase in the estimated maximum cost to $4,038,900. A portion of such cost in the estimated amount of $300,000 is to be paid from the Water District's existing SW Reserve Fund, and the remaining project cost is proposed to be financed pursuant to the local finance law, and the town proposes to apply for a water infrastructure improvement grant to pay or reimburse a portion of such costs. Such engineer's report and supplemental letter are on file in the town clerk's office for public inspection. The town board has determined that such project as described in the engineer's report constitutes a type 2 action as defined under the State Environmental Quality Review Regulations 6 NYCRR Part 617, which has been determined under SECRA not to have a significant impact on the environment. All interested persons will be given an opportunity to be heard at said hearing. Written comments may be submitted to the town clerk in writing. In advance of the hearing to town clerk at redhookny.gov for receipt by 4:00 p.m. the day of the hearing. Please note, increase and improvement of Water District Number 1. All reasonable accommodations will be made for persons with disabilities in such a case. Please notify the town clerk in advance at the above address or by phone so that arrangements can be made. By order of the town board of the town of Red Hook dated June 28th, 2023, Deanna Cochran, town clerk, town of Red Hook.
Okay, thank you very much, Deanna.
No,
At
just
this
what it
time,
was. It is what it is.
at this time, I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing. Would anybody like to speak on this topic? Okay. As with the previous item, we're going to extend, or actually call a public hearing with a modification to the figures here, because the resolution should state that the total cost, including the $300,000 coming out of the Water District Reserve Fund, so.
So
we
that is
will-
fairly far down. Do you want to go to that item in the agenda?
Yeah, I think we should do that.
So you have to go all the way down to, in the modified agenda, just before the decommissioning, I think, is where that is.
It's item 3.
Yeah, but no, you have to go to the second one. See, back up, that looks like it might be it.
It's not.
Hang on,
No,
let's
it's
see.
not. I think that's pretty good right there.
Yep, so there's a resolution right before that. Back up one more page, please. There you go. So this is the new resolution.
Do you know what number are we on now?
52.
52. Resolution 52, it's calling for a public hearing on July 26th. This is a repeat of the application we submitted last year. We were not successful. We have made some modifications to the grant application. We hope that there's, because there's potentially more funding, we might have a better shot. And this resolution calls for a public hearing at 7:35. on the 26th. And the total amount of the project, including the 300,000, is $4,338,900. This is for a new water tank of the glass kind, installed at our existing site. Okay, so why don't we entertain, it's a little confusing, we've got a resolution, but why don't we entertain this resolution 52? For the 26th, who would like to move that?
Do we need to close the public hearing we're in?
So this resolution says that you
Yeah, it's a
are
continuation.
continuing the public hearing
Yeah.
with the changes that are identified in the resolution that
Okay.
Robert just alluded to.
That's why it is a
Right.
little confusing, because it's a continuation this time,
Right.
in a resolution. So I'm gonna move 52. Is there a
Second.
second? Okay, thank you, Christine. Any further discussion? If not, Jacob?
Aye.
Julio?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, that was 52. You can see the report. We also have next up is a performance bond reduction for Tradition at Red Hook.
Mr. Supervisor?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, by taking you down there, I think you skipped public comment, if you wanted to.
What's that?
By taking you down there, I think it made you skip public comment.
Yeah, we did. We did skip public
Sorry
comment.
about that.
Okay, before we get to the first item on the agenda, is there any public comment this evening? Going once, going twice, okay. Very good. Agenda item number 1 is a resolution regarding the sewer and water system performance bond reductions for the folks at home. Know that when a developer comes in and seeks approval and gains approval for development, they oftentimes have to complete infrastructure work and put up performance bonds that secure the work that they say that they're going to do and is a condition of approval. And so in this case, the Tradition Development has completed phases of work and have now requested a reduction in the bond amount to just cover the maintenance of the work. And so that's what we have in front of us, resolution number 53. Resolution 53. There we go, going backwards. And we have a letter from the engineers on that, Dutchess County Water and Wastewater Authority on that as well. And here is our resolution, I believe. No, that's the old one. If you're not busy yet, you will be with my scrolling. It's resolution number 53 dated July 11th regarding sewer and water system performance. They've received sign off from Dutchess County Water and Wastewater Authority. And so this is a reduction now down to a maintenance amount of $39,428. You've had a chance to review the correspondence from our engineers and from DCWWA. Any questions, folks? If not, pretty ministerial. Resolution 53, I so move. Is there a second?
Second.
Christine, second. Further discussion? If not, Julia?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Jacob?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we have number 3, it's just for you to view. we're not gonna vote on it tonight. It's a resolution approving the grant application for the WIA grant for the $2 million.
So would that be voted on at the next meeting after the close of the public hearing?
Exactly.
What's the deadline for this?
28.
Yeah, it's, all of these are CFA, so they're due on the, no, 27th,
I thought you said 28.
27th.
Oh, Dan said 28, okay.
Did he?
He did.
No, it's 27th for CFA, but,
Well, either way, it's after
Well,
the
let's do it by the
26th.
27th,
yeah,
just to be sure.
In like Flynn.
26.
this is 26th, so nothing like
Yeah.
Wait till the last
last second to get it. Okay. Last item on the agenda before we go into executive session is there has been review of a decommissioning and restoration plan. And again, for folks at home, for the large ground-mounted solar, our solar zoning law requires that a plan be negotiated and executed for removal of the solar panels if they are no longer in use. And so Bard College is putting in a second ground-mounted solar system. And this is the very brief document that details not only the cost, but the steps and what that they can put up in order to ensure that they remove the system. And the calculations of how we got to that number. This has been reviewed by our town attorney. Any questions, folks?
So this is just to clarify, this is a new system.
Yes,
It's not removing the existing
it is not.
ground-mounted array that's there.
It is
Correct.
not.
And are they now, or are they going to be in front of the planning board?
Oh, they already have
Right.
it.
Yeah.
This
So
is a
this is
condition
an
of
agreement.
approval.
That was a condition of approval.
Okay.
Right.
they
and
come
the-
up with a plan.
The plan was
Okay.
actually something that the
Yeah, because when I
planning
first read it,
board-
I was like, wait, and then I read
Yeah.
it again to realize it's not the removal of the existing one.
No,
so-
no.
Right,
Right,
okay.
right.
They're
So the-
doing more.
The plan was actually what was approved by the planning board, and this is only before you for the form of the surety,
Right.
basically.
Okay.
Okay, this is 54.
Yes.
Nice, so moved.
Second.
Oh, Bill's in there.
No.
Any further questions? If not, Christine,
Aye.
Julia,
Aye.
Jacob. Thank you very much. Folks, I said it was gonna be a quick meeting. Half hour. That's the good news. The bad news is we've got executive session to discuss matters under negotiation.
We also have attorney-client?
And we are going to have an attorney-client as well. So I'm gonna make a motion that we do both of those things.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again
It's gotta be
on
back.
July 26th. Good night. Good night.